Joey only here with Brandon Houck. Good evening, Brandon. How's things in Brooks, Alberta?
It is really, really, well, probably not as hot as BC, but 36 degrees is what we hit this afternoon. Didn't break a record today, but still pretty hot.
I think we hit about 37 or 38 here in Barkerville, which would again break our local record. And I haven't heard if today has a new Canadian record been set yet again.
Yeah, it has. Lytton BC got to 50.
Holy! Are you serious?
Yep, the last 2 hours there, 50 degrees Celsius.
So almost
9.6. So yeah, there it
almost
is.
Almost to the point where the human body can't survive in it.
That's right. Yeah. Texas has never been that hot, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They've felt it probably, but they haven't reached the actual temperature before.
The actual air temperature. So I guess the big problem that I've been saying since last week, but more and more since Sunday, that we're going to see thunderstorms this weekend through BC, and of course that's going to trail into Alberta too. Especially, you're going to see some very severe storms, I'm sure. So our threats are different. We're looking at the possibility of widespread fire startups here with this dryness and just the fire conditions as they are. I mean, this heat, there's just no limit to how a fire can grow. And I mean, we had instances yesterday where helicopters were having trouble getting lift in the heat, so that just tells you, what we're up against here. So we're possibly into a situation where, anything could really happen, right? So this is what it's just been. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but at 5 o'clock this afternoon, 4:56 Pacific time, Environment Canada has finally released a public weather alert. People didn't believe me because Environment Canada said rain on the forecast, but not thunderstorms on Wednesday, Brandon. And I mean, with this heat, it's not just going to rain.
No,
anyway.
We're going to see some pretty good thunderstorms out of it, especially when you get the cold front coming through, it acts as a trigger, and you have all this heat that's been in place. So get the cooler meeting up with the hot air, you always get thunderstorms no matter what out of that.
Well, at this heat, it doesn't take a whole lot of a cold front to be cold enough to ignite that either, right? So we have the potential for severe thunderstorms with very strong wind gusts, intense lightning, and brief bursts of heavy rain. An upper trough will move across BC interior Wednesday as the historic ridge of high pressure shifts to the east towards Brandon and Brooks, Alberta. This will result in isolated to scattered thunderstorms from Fort Nelson all the way down to Merritt. The main threats will be strong wind gusts, intense lightning. Some areas will see bursts of heavy rain. My concern is that the rain will be here and the lightning will, not necessarily be hitting where the rain is actually going to be falling. So we've already seen some storms today in BC. But before I talk about that, as this leads into Alberta, then the severe storm potential through the weekend, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Thunderstorm potential as we go towards the end of this week. So we've got basically Wednesday, Thursday, really hot days, hottest days of this heat spell. So we'll probably see mid to high 30s. I wouldn't be surprised. Some areas will get to 40 here in Alberta. Not as extreme as BC, but we have that risk of thunderstorms starting kind of late Wednesday in, let's say, for more Thursday, actually, late Thursday for areas in the Alberta Peace District, Grand Prairie, and up into the northern part of the province where we could see that first shot of severe weather as the temperatures remain quite hot here in the south. And then as we progress away into Friday, we will be dealing with temperatures still mighty hot here in the south, but this is when that cold front finally starts to move its way in. And I think we are going to be at risk for severe weather across central, southern portions of Alberta, including the threats for supercells that could be initiated here. So we'll be watching the dynamics, everything like that very closely, but definitely hail and strong winds will be big threats with these storms, and torrential downpours. I noticed on the GFS model for Calgary, Friday night could get 70 millimeters in 1 hour. So we'll be watching. We probably wish that happened in BC instead, but we'll watch that potential very closely for the next few days with torrential downpours. And if that does occur, that could lead to flash flooding. And Calgary is not great with flash flooding, and especially with underpasses, overpasses, and such like that. But that might happen overnight, Friday into Saturday. So that might also help with that situation too. And then Saturday, those storms will persist, and we'll see probably another round of strong to severe thunderstorms as we go late Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. And then we get a secondary round of severe weather on Sunday as temperatures finally start to cool below 30 degrees, which is still pretty much above average, but still not as bad as it has been this week. And we'll get a couple more shots of active weather well into next week by the looks of things here. So we're back into an active pattern, usually typical around July, first couple of weeks of July. We get into one of those very active patterns, and looks like we'll hold on to some heat by the middle of next week with temperatures still hovering near 30 degrees. But yeah, there's the Alberta story there.
Yeah, and I've been in Alberta certainly, and in Saskatchewan during those weeks that, where just every day you don't have to go far to find a thunderstorm to chase. That's just extreme. So, I mean, you're probably looking at the chance of tornadoes and serious hail and things like that all through this next week, and dangerous situations all across Western Canada, from really Manitoba right to BC now developing. And we all knew this heat couldn't just come and be friendly. I mean, this is such an extreme and bizarre event that you knew it was going to have to work itself out with violence. I mean, I did. Yeah. And you can tell at the boundary of where, I mean, if at the upper level right now, I mean, you've seen this, it's all swirling like a big toilet bowl, basically, in the jet stream right around us. And you can see on those boundaries, where to expect a lot of these sort of popcorn storms to start forming up. And they have been already west of Kelowna, or east of Kelowna today. There's been, in the last few hours, a bunch of dry lightning up in the hills there. And I haven't heard about fire starts yet, but that's obviously concerning. And Boston Bar, there's a cell growing right now. I see, just an individual popcorn cell. But, you have this, everything's clear, not a cloud in the sky, and then one storm cell forming, right? And that's how it is for now. But I mean, that's going to continue to increase. The popcorns are going to start popping in the microwave and faster tomorrow until, I don't know what's going to happen next. As a firefighter, I look forward to working usually, but I mean, this is a situation where I have anxiety, and everyone else who works on the line does, because you don't fight the kind of fires that are starting right now. You get out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
You catch them when they're small, or you got to get way back and make a line somewhere else because you can't face it.
Yeah, I saw yesterday there's a fire near Lytton there, and it's so hot that helicopters can't even fly because above it, because of the air mass right above it. So
you just can't even get lit. One helicopter pilot was telling me that they were, unloading everything they could off their choppers to try to get enough lift yesterday. So I thought that was pretty interesting and telling. And certainly we've seen, like, with some of the fires that have broke out, like yesterday in Pink Mountain up north of Fort St. John, that fire went for a run fast, and it's already huge. And it's, it's a class 6 fire in the trees and running. So, I mean, that's going to be a major project fire. And we're going to see more of that. There's fires in Kamloops, north of Kamloops going on right now near Skeetcheston, something near 108 Mile House. People are just reporting right now. And in this heat, like, all you need is just the smallest spark. And, we're at crossover conditions. The temperature's over 30 degrees and the humidity's below 30%. Although I did find it interesting this morning that people in Penticton, Cody Lewis was saying that it was 50% humidity already there at about noon today. And I thought, isn't that interesting? So all the moisture that's getting sucked out of everything, it's in the air and it's increasing. And you're like, well, where are these storms going to come from? Where they're going to come from nowhere.
Yeah, basically there is random little pop-up storms here and there, and yeah, they come out of nowhere and they form basically almost out of nowhere too.
It's like one puff of a cloud can be enough to start attracting itself to more moisture, and then next thing you know, it's a little cumulus puff, and next thing you know, it's starting to grow tall, and next thing you know, it's got a head, and when no one can really predict where it's going to happen a day beforehand. So I mean, people are wondering, why haven't I seen it on my forecast? That's probably the answer right there. Any last words before we head off?
I think I went through everything that I need to go through. I guess, I did see that risk for tomorrow from, let's say, Williams Lake to Fort St. John. And that area, I also looked at the supercell parameter, just as a little sneak peek, just as I saw the instability values up there, and as the helicity values are way up there too. But I looked at the supercell composite, and there's a small chance there might be an isolated supercell somewhere in that zone tomorrow. So we'll also keep an eye on that too. but I don't expect anything to go that vicious or wild there. But we'll just watch that very closely. Definitely a weak supercell, not out of the question. But I looked at the photographs afterwards, and doesn't look like conditions don't look favorable for any thing to go spinning or anything like that. But just something to watch out for tomorrow, especially in that zone. And that area could get some pretty good downpours, especially Fort St. John may get near 25 millimeters of rain in just a few hours from some of those cells. So wish that was a little further south, but yeah, even something to keep an eye on.
Even that one yesterday south of there, for a short while, it seemed to have some rotation in it and had some very, very solid looking structure to it. So, I mean, that was on a day that we weren't even really expecting it to start yet, so I just seem to figure that whatever they're putting the line at, expect this. I mean, we keep crossing it every day right now, whether it's heat or potential or, so expect anything.
Absolutely. Expect the unexpected.
Yep.